Achilles?
Calf/Achilles.
A new injury?
No.
You said ankle is the oblique. Fine now, ankle's new.
Yes.
Ricky Pearsall update, Kyle. We saw him out here on Tuesday, and I guess he was here Monday as well. How is he kind of being involved with the team, and just how is he doing overall?
I mean, it's kind of been amazing just watching him. I'm getting to see him Sunday, Monday, for him to be able to walk around and stuff with that happening. Talking to the people at the ER, saying out of like 100 people, 2 people have survived that. And to be able to see him the next day and just that he's able to walk, he's coming to meetings, he's doing all that. But, he wants to go a while, a week or so without trying to work up a sweat. And then after that, he'll start his rehab and progress again back.
What was that like for you on Saturday, Kyle, like when you found out and kind of the emotions that you go through throughout all
It was really tough. We didn't know exactly, we just knew that he got shot, and that was all we knew. And then it took us about an hour to figure out what the hospital was and things like that, because he just made a couple calls to people, so we had it from them, but none of us knew where he was or anything. And this was, it's like at 3:30. By the time that we got to him, it was good, because by the time we found out where he was, we got to him. It was real cool. He FaceTimed me. That was like the first time I knew he was all right. I got a call like 20 minutes before that saying he was conscious, he was talking, that he was going to survive and all that. But then he FaceTimed me right after from his bed. It was real upbeat. Like it was really amazing, because that hour, when you hear about a shooting, we didn't know where it was or anything, so you just assume the worst. Then to hear it was in the chest, you don't think that usually goes that well. Then actually to talk to him like 15 minutes after that and just talk to a guy that seems like he's okay. Obviously, he's got a bad, horrible injury, and there's a huge mental side that'll go to that he's got to work through for a while. But it was a lot of emotions.
Are you kind of letting him be as involved as he wants to be at this point? And obviously with the aggressive medical staff and whatnot, but if he wants to be around the team, he can.
Oh yeah, of course. I think it's I think when anyone goes through something like that, everyone cares about them so much. But it's I told the team, like, everyone wants to show them they care, and so what do you do when you go up to someone? You ask them how it happened and stuff, and it's a pretty traumatizing story. I told the team we don't want to make him relive that 80 times. So he knows how much everyone cares about him. He loves being around. It's all up to him with that stuff. But everyone's trying to give him space in that way and just let him work through this process, because the physical thing's one thing, but it's a pretty big mental toll on someone too.
John mentioned that one of the first things that Ricky said to him was, the party should go on. What were you going through in your mind about whether that was appropriate or not?
If anyone knows us, we would never do something inappropriate. So we care about our teammates more than anyone. You'd have to be on a team to understand that, first of all. But yeah, we were definitely into that. Like, we thought we're assuming the worst for a while. It happened about 2 hours before it. And so John went down there. I'm waiting to get the call to see what the deal is. And then when Ricky called me, and he was totally fine in the things he said and being on FaceTime, then it felt really good to get everyone over. It was actually a really cool opportunity. Got the whole team together, got a TV out there for everyone to see, and then he got a FaceTime with the whole team, and just let everyone kind of know, or let everyone feel kind of how he made me feel when I spoke with them.
Feel the mood of the party change once?
Yeah, once everyone walked in, no one knew the exact story, so I was able to reassure everybody as soon as they got there that he was totally fine, and it's a miracle. Like where he got shot is like 2 inches below his tattoo with praying hands. Like it's kind of, the whole story is kind of amazing. But to tell everyone as soon as they get in, you can't call a whole team, but to tell everyone right when they got there, it was really cool. And then about 2 hours later, Ricky got on and talked to everybody.
What do you kind of say about a guy like Ricky Pearsall? You see him walking himself to the ambulance. He's just gotten shot. You see him trying to say the party goes on. He's talking to you guys. And then, like you said, he was here the other day. Just to go through all of that, Trent Williams even saying he has never had a teammate be shot, but to be present. What does it say about your first draft pick?
We've been so impressed with Ricky, with everything he's done prior to this. And for this to happen, and just kind of to hear kind of what his girlfriend, what his parents went through, even talking to Ricky, like when it happens, he doesn't know until he actually gets to the hospital and talks to doctors and stuff that he's going to be all right. So for him to have to go through that shock and the anxiety and the panic of not knowing whether you're going to live or die, and then just, I saw the video that everyone saw him just walking through, but at that time he has no idea he's going to be all right. he's the toughest person I know. Just going through a situation like that, we always felt this way watching him on the football field and things like that. But kind of to watch how he handled that situation and watch how he's been every day since, it's been it shows how special of a guy he is.
You mentioned the mental part is obviously a tremendous part of that, and how important is it for the team to make sure Ricky doesn't rush through that? Because sometimes with trauma that can happen.
I think that's big. I mean, especially I think each day the mental part becomes more a big deal. You know, the adrenaline and just surviving that, and you know, Ricky's saying stuff. You know, at first that doesn't matter. Like, I still think I could play versus the Jets. Like those are the things he's talking about, and it's just like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, there's other things, but the adrenaline of all that, and then I think each day, like, just to actually relive that, and you know what his family had to go through for a couple hours. I mean, just flying out here, not totally knowing what the deal was going to be. I think that stuff for him or anybody, you know, it's when that adrenaline goes away, that becomes a much bigger deal, and that's kind of what I mean by everyone kind of respecting that, because we'd all be the same, and trying not to make him relive it as much as possible, but it's a really an unbelievable story.
Coach, how have you addressed this with the team to make sure they're in the right mental state moving forward? What's ahead?
The way I just said. I mean, it's more about the respect of Ricky and stuff. I think our team was pretty good once we found out how all right he was. You know, everyone, just like when people hear someone get shot, you never think that's going to just be all right. You assume pretty dark things, but we had to go through a couple hours of that, but that ended pretty fast. And then it was more about just getting to see Ricky and making sure he's all right, and the guys have been great with that, as always.
Anytime you start.
First time we've talked to you since Ayuk came back in Anson's Trent's situation. I know we got a little weird with Brandon there, and he kind of admitted it was maybe made it a little tougher. How tough was that, now that you can look back on it, for this team to go through that? And does it go on no problem, or there's still some, you know, how did that all thing resolve itself in your mind?
They resolved themselves perfect, like just back to normal. So you don't want, you know, things get tough, you know, especially when it can go a number of directions. You know, that's what I was saying to you guys from the beginning. It could have gone a number of directions. There was times they possibly could be traded. There was times he could possibly be here. That was hard about the whole negotiation thing, and that is what made it different than usual. We never gone through it being so close both ways. And for it to end up working out here, that, you know, in the beginning, we wanted him here, BA wanted to be here, and we all wanted to make that work out. And really, in the end, that was still the case. And you got to go through that and make sure you're talking to people as humans, and both sides need to understand when you're talking that way, you're not negotiating. You're trying to tell each other how you truly feel. And when that is the same way as it was 6 months before that, those things are easy to get over. You just got to make sure that's truly how you feel. And you could feel that leading into it the last few days. I think that's what made it easier to close it and get it done those last couple days, and that's been awesome ever since, like nothing ever happened.
Anytime you start a new season, there are some things you're uncertain about. Last year was Brock's health. You've got some new faces, some rookies in the lineup. If you had to pinpoint some things that you're not certain about, curious about how they're going to turn out on Monday, what would they be?
I mean, I love going through a whole training camp and knowing exactly what you got right away, and just preparing everyone for week one and then working off that. It is a little different when, you know, your left tackle hasn't been there, your guards, your running back, and your starting receiver. And then you got also Greenlaw and you got Huff. But those guys, you know, Huff has got a possibility this week. Greenlaw we're going to have to wait on. But the guys on offense, you know, there's a little question marks with the injuries and the guys not here. And then all of a sudden they are here. The guys are healthy. But we still got to work. It's awesome to have our guys back. I feel so good about our team, especially being able to finish these and get those two guys back contractually, get some of the health back that guys have been missing on offense, which feels great. But now I'm all about going to work, and that usually you start that pretty early in training camp. I got a lot of confidence in these guys that they're conditioned, they've done everything, but football is about playing as a team and having 11 guys move together, and that's what we're trying to get done in these practices.
What about the workload for those two guys, Williams and IU? Do you expect Brandon to be able to play the 98% of the snaps that he normally can?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised with that, but my expectations are that I'd be surprised with 98%. But I'll see as the week goes. We've had one practice with him. He threw with Brock over the weekend. We got one practice with Trent. Today will be their second. We'll see how they are these 3 days and then kind of evaluate it.
Neither of those guys is limited or a big help back.
No, they're not limited. Yeah.
If you had to draw it up, you would have wanted Trent done earlier, I assume.
Yeah, definitely.
How frustrating was that as a became like Bosa last year and just got later?
I mean, it wasn't at first because, I understood how it was going to be. I thought it would end up being faster. But it got more frustrating the last week because, like I said to the other questions, I want guys here. I want to prepare the guys for the season, and you only can do so much on your own. But the bottom line is they're here, and we got a long season ahead of us, and we're pumped to have them for week 1.
When you first got the news about Ricky and you were waiting to find out the severity, did part of you want to drop everything and rush to the hospital with John to be there with him?
Yeah, obviously, but I'm in charge of our team too, and I don't do that stuff just so you won't say something negative about me. I try to make the right decision for the people I'm responsible for, and I had 100 people about to show up to my house an hour and a half from there, and I try to do things for the right reason. People who know me never question that, but I would never do something just to avoid people saying bad things. Yeah, we got 8 of them this year. Bosa, Warner, Juice, Kittle, McCaffrey, Purdy, Debo, and Trent. Well, you're allowed 9. I try to do it right with the votes. I think we've always had 6 or 7. The 7 and 8 were like 1 vote off, and the 9th guy was like 8 behind them. So it was really obvious who those 8 were, and the 9th one was too far from it. And I'd rather not have so many, but I'm not going to pick when the team votes it that close.
Said you had to get back to work. At any moment in the last few days where you just like take a breath and like everybody's back together here? Like what has it been like? Just kind of feeling whole again, I guess.
That lasts as I walk out to the field and I see everyone and I'm real excited, and then I go right to the plays and getting everyone to work right and everything else that comes with the NFL season. So it's awesome to get everyone here. Couldn't be more excited than that. But that ends as soon as you enjoy that, and that usually lasts as soon as you start thinking about the game plan and what you're doing in practice, and then it becomes real football. Yeah, I told Brandon Allen, and Brandon will be the 2, Josh will be the 3 right now. They're good.